Hello everyone and welcome to Holistic Healing with Deepshikha. I'm recording this episode while on vacation in Divyagarh. And while I've been driving around the countryside, going up and down these narrow roads with these huge trees on both sides, it struck me that bigger the trees were, the more number of aerial roots it had. It was like the bigger it got, the more it wanted to be connected to Mother Earth. And one can't really drive above a certain speed limit on these roads, so you can't help but notice how each and every tree, no matter how big it gets, continues to find ways to stay grounded. It will have aerial roots, a branch, or probably another trunk growing, but never ever forgetting to remain grounded. There's a quote by C.G. Young: "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." And I like to believe that he is talking about being grounded. The literal meaning of the word will be to remain connected to the ground. And of course, in the good old days, it meant being close to the earth, as a lot of the routine work was done bare feet. Houses had spaces around them where the children were allowed to play in the sand or the mud. Now, if we are to talk about being grounded from the point of view of health or healing, it would mean staying connected to the present moment, maintaining a sense of balance and finding stability. And the easiest way to do it is by being close to Mother Earth. But more on this a little later. In fact, of late there have been a lot of studies that have shown how having daily, or let's say frequent direct skin contact with the earth helps in the healing of a number of ailments like the inflammatory diseases, insomnia, acute pain, etc. The way it works is something to do with the electrons in the nature and a need to recharge on a periodical basis for the body to be able to fight the causes leading to such diseases, or for it to be able to repair itself. And even if we are to keep the science stuff aside, let me ask you, doesn't it feel amazing to be in nature? I mean, imagine walking bare feet on the grass, or just sitting next to a stream listening to the water flowing, or lazing on a hammock with slight sun rays falling on you and a mild breeze flowing, making it just the right temperature for you to fall asleep. What does any of these things I just mentioned do? It calms you down, brings you peace, and helps you to be present at that particular moment. And that is what being grounded means, to always come back to self. There are so many situations in which we tend to lose our sense of self. We get anxious, we feel like the hours, days are simply passing us by. We are trying to juggle too many things at once. We don't have control over emotions or thoughts and such like things. But each time when we are overcome with emotions or thoughts, or any situation feels beyond control, causing us anxiety, if we can stop and take a few mindful minutes to come back to us, the situation itself will start to feel much better and easier to handle. So how can one be grounded? The first and the simplest way to do it is to spend time in nature. Yes, it's as simple as that. I know our everyday lives hardly gives us time to be able to find time to spend time in nature. But for starters, a barefoot walk on the grass in the patch right outside the building gate, the same arboriculture project that added a few extra God knows how much money to the real estate cost while you were purchasing that flat? Yes, that patch of grass. Walk on it. And if you have a fountain somewhere around, just sit by it and listen to the sound of the water. Water always soothes you. What else? For the ones with green fingers, spend time with your plants. Earth always helps to re-energize you. The proof of how being in the nature helps is in the fact that have you ever seen a wild animal having inflammatory issues or such like diseases? It's because they are always close to the earth. They are always grounded. Next would be that every time you feel anxious or emotions and thoughts taking over, concentrate on your breathing. Take long deep breaths and you will instantly see the change in your body. Long breaths always help to calm you down. Another technique that I learned while I was in therapy a few years back is to smell something strong or pungent, like the coffee beans. It brings back your mind to your present immediately. Music. How can this list not have music in it? Play your favorite song and dance to it, or play something that centers you. Play something soft if you're overstimulated. Music always helps release positive chemicals like dopamine and will help release the anxious buildup. Engage in activities that require you to physically move or touch things like cooking, gardening, washing, playing with your pet, painting, etc., as it engages different parts of your brain, making it difficult to be stuck on one thing. If it is possible, try talking to yourself as to why or what is making you feel the way you do. Try to define it and then try looking at it from another point of view. Try asking yourself if that particular thing would be important in a week's time or a month's time or even a year. And if not, then you can make yourself see how it does not deserve the importance that it is being given at that point of time. Try to identify the situation as within your control or outside your control. And then try to let go of what isn't in your control and do whatever needs to be done about what is under your control. If what is causing you to be anxious is a task, then try breaking it into smaller steps. It's always easier to take small steps than to take a huge leap. If the situation is something that affects your confidence, then do something that you're good at. It will help you feel motivated and confident to take on the other task. Try talking about it with someone you trust. Talking always helps. Putting your feelings into words makes it easier to understand them. Next would be to try and not engage with the inner critic. Consciously try to operate from a place of calm and stability and try not to give in to the fears. A lot of times such situations are a result of having said yes to too many commitments. So the best way to avoid such situations is to practice having healthy boundaries. Drawing boundaries can feel very difficult initially and lead to feeling of guilt. But what can I say except it gets easier with practice? Remember that everything is temporary. Something that we hear too often these days is "this too shall pass." So when things feel overwhelming, remember to remind yourself, this too shall pass. Another thing that really helps you ground is taking a cold shower. A cold shower not only brings the mind back to you but also helps improve the mood. Remember, all this can only be done if one is healthy. So it's very important to have healthy habits, sleep right, and be eating nutritious food. Prioritize yourself. Now, why is it that it is so important to be grounded? It is because it leads to reduced stress, better decision making, and improved relationships. It's like having a strong, unshakable anchor in the stormy sea of life. Being grounded means no unkind being is taking up space rent-free in your body. It also means you love deeply without the need for revenge. It means digging beneath the machine's mind to understand and see the beauty in each human being. Of course, staying grounded can be difficult even for the best of us. Distractions, overthinking, and the constant hustle of modern life can pull us away from the present moment. It's essential to recognize these challenges and actively work towards overcoming them. Start with small, consistent practices. Incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. Prioritize self-care and surround yourself with supportive influences. Remember, it's a gradual process, and like already described earlier in the episode, there are a number of ways to achieve it. And as we wrap up today's episode, it's evident that being grounded is more than a state of mind, it's a way of life. Remember that amidst the chaos of life, finding your grounding can make all the difference. So stay rooted, stay present. Until next time, thank you.